Hello to all my fellow gold diggers. This is your girl Rita, also known as the self proclaimed gold digger. Welcome to my channel where I discuss my life as an entrepreneur, business owner, wife, and mom, all while trying to crush these goals. And today I am coming to you to talk to you about Christmas spending. Now, I know you're saying it is September. Why are we talking about Christmas? But I want to share with you some tips for you to prevent overspending at Christmas time. So during Christmas, we tend to spend a lot of money on gifts and we end up spending money that sometimes we do not have. And then when January rolls around, we are in trouble. So today, I'm going to give you 8 tips to prevent you from overspending this Christmas. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Tip number 1, please don't feel obligated to buy a gift for anyone. So sometimes Christmas, it generates a lot of emotions. People are buying you stuff. You feel obligated to buy them stuff because they gave you a gift, but you know that you might not be able to afford it, or you weren't planning on it or planning on buying it, or the neighbor, this friend, your kids' friends, all of these gifts. But tip number 1, don't feel obligated to buy anyone a gift if you don't want to, okay? All right, now tip number 2, plan ahead. So we are already talking about this in September. Ideally, you probably want to start planning for your Christmas shopping a little bit earlier than that, but I will give you some tips for you to use this Christmas, as well as hopefully for you to be able to implement in future Christmases. But the tip is to plan ahead so that you are better prepared. We know Christmas comes at the same time every year, but there is always those individuals out there that are doing last minute Christmas shopping. You might be the one or somebody who you're having to do some last minute Christmas shopping for. So always remember to try to plan ahead. All right. Tip number 3, I'm looking at my notes so I can stay on topic. Set a Christmas gift budget, okay? So you need to set a budget for the gifts that you are going to be spending on. Put a dollar amount on those gifts that you're giving. Also, make a list of the people who you are planning to buy gifts for, and you can start that as early as possible, and that way you can see how much money you need to allocate. So maybe you want to spend more money on your mom, your dad, your husband, your kids versus what you spent on your friends. But you should at least put a dollar amount by that person's name so that you will know what you have budgeted for, what you have allotted for that individual, so you don't overspend. Also, when you're making that list, plan for unexpected gifts. So there's always that unexpected gift that comes up, whether it's buying a gift for a teacher, for a secret Santa, a co-worker, your neighbor, that kind of stuff. So plan for those little unexpected gifts that you might have forgotten about, and you want to give somebody, or you feel like you need to give someone a gift. So think about that. But when in doubt, refer back to tip number 1. Don't feel obligated to buy anybody a gift who you don't want to. All right, moving along. Tip number 4, remember to budget for Christmas decor. So Christmas brings a lot of memories. It's very nostalgic. I know for me, a lot of happy memories, and we tend to get in this decorating spirit. We want our house to look nice. We have our Christmas tree. We get Christmas lights. We get the wreaths. We have all these little decorations throughout our house. So sometimes we forget in the midst of buying all these gifts that we also need to create a budget for Christmas decor and take inventory of the decor that you have ahead of time, which goes back to tip number 2, planning ahead to see, is there something that needs to replace? Like, is that Christmas tree, is it still going to hold up? Are those lights, I have the bulbs burnt out and you're gonna have to replace the bulbs, or you're just gonna have to replace a string of lights? How does that wreath look? Is it looking shabby and you need to get another wreath or get other decorations? So plan a budget for Christmas decor and stick to that budget, but take inventory of what you have so you know what to get, because the stores have a lot of cute stuff and you want to grab this and grab that and be like, oh, this will look so cute in the house, but stick to that Christmas decor budget. Okay, now tip number 5, remember to set a holiday food budget. Food is another thing that you might not plan ahead for, or you might forget to plan ahead for or budget for when it comes to around Christmas time. You might already have your normal grocery budget that you use, but plan for your Christmas or your holiday budget, because it never fails. You want some Christmas cookies. There are certain things that we just I know, well, I'll speak for myself personally, that I tend to crave around Christmas time. One of those is having Christmas cookies. Maybe for you it's having eggnog. You know, you drink a little bit more. You might drink a little bit more during this time. There's certain desserts and sweets that you might either make yourself or want to buy at the store. There's some things that only come around seasonally during this time, and so your regular grocery budget might increase because you're buying all of this extra stuff, cakes, cookies, candies, all that kind of stuff that you might be keeping around the house. Also, keep in mind too, if you're like hosting a Christmas event or a Christmas party, plan for that, because you might have, well, you probably are going to be buying more food and drinks and things of that nature, and you don't want to break the budget because you didn't plan for it. So remember to budget for food. Also during this time, well, the kids typically are out of school. Right now, your kids might be out of school just due to everything going on with this virus, but typically we are usually home more. You're going to have some days off, so your regular grocery budget might increase just from you having to feed yourself while you are at home. So also keep this in mind too. Another thing that you want to do is usually around this time as well, you get invited out to eat a lot. So there might be a Christmas party, or maybe you have a get together with friends who you don't see regularly, or you always meet up around Christmas time, and now y'all are going out to eat and you're spending money at a restaurant or on food. So please take that into account when setting your holiday or Christmas food budget, that money you're going to be spending when you go out to eat or go to hang out with some friends and things of that nature. Also keep in mind too, as you're doing some of your Christmas shopping, it never fails. You're at the store, you've been shopping all day, and you're hungry now. And now you're going to a fast food restaurant, or you're going to some kind of restaurant and getting yourself something to eat. And sometimes we don't always account for that. So think about all the ways that food is going to be playing a role with you this holiday, and make sure you budget for those expenses. Lastly, when it comes to the food budget, also keep in mind if you are hosting someone. So if you have family or friends who are coming to visit you and they're staying a few days with you or things of that nature, then you are probably going to have to increase your grocery budget for the extra people in your house. Also, they might want to go out to eat. And you might be going out to a restaurant where you otherwise would not have gone out to a restaurant. So keep that in mind when planning your Christmas budget, okay? All right, tip number 6, shop for your gifts early. So if you can. So if you have the list of people who you want to shop for, create a list of 2 to 3 items that you plan on getting them for Christmas, and keep this list handy along with the dollar amount that you're going to spend. So that way, if you come across a gift while you're just out and about doing your regular shopping or what have you, you might stumble upon a gift that you want to get for that person, and you have a Christmas list already put together. Also, sometimes it's hard to shop for people. You might not know what they want, but if you plan ahead and be like, hey, so and so likes this in particular, or I need to get a gift card for this, or they would really like this candle or something like that. Having that list ahead of time of items that individuals might want definitely helps out. It also prevents you from having to do that last minute Christmas shopping because you're like, I don't know what to get the person, and now you only have a few more days till Christmas and you feel pressured to buy something, and then you end up overspending just because you feel pressured to buy something. But once again, refer back to tip number one. Do not feel obligated to buy anybody anything this Christmas. Another tip goes along with shopping early for gifts. Take inventory of what you already have in your home, in your closet. There are probably things that are brand new, whether it's clothes or items still in boxes and things like that. Take inventory of that stuff. If you have not used them in the past year, even a few months, those could potentially be gifts that you can give to people, and they're brand new. So take inventory of what you have in your closet. Also, when you take inventory, you might have some stuff that you need to give away, sell. So you can be having a garage sale or a yard sale and things like that. And that way you can help generate money for the gifts that you are going to bring. And now is a good time. September, October is a good time for you to like clean out your closets, have a garage sale, and make room for new items and stuff like that. Okay. Now, tip number 7. Oh, also last thing with when you shop early, it also gives you a chance to kind of compare prices and see what the price of items are, so you can see, is this even in your budget? Like if you plan to buy, I don't know, Sally, this sweater by this certain designer that they like, and you think it only costs $30, but in reality it costs $50, you can either say, hey, I need to save up a little bit extra money to get Sally her gift, or choose another gift for Sally that is more in line with what you have budgeted for. And tip number 7 brings us to save money for your Christmas budget as early as possible. A lot of people create, I won't say a lot of people, but people have been known to create a Christmas account, and usually you might create it at the beginning of the year, right after Christmas. And each week, typically you would contribute, or each week, each month, however you set it up, but on a regular basis, you can contribute to this Christmas account throughout the year, so that when Christmas does roll around, you already have this money in your account for you to use. And having that Christmas account, it also keeps your regular funds separate, so you'll know, hey, when this money is gone, it is gone. This is all I have to spend on Christmas gifts, okay? So just keep that in mind. Also, when planning ahead for your Christmas budget, take inventory of any gift cards that you might have. So you might have a gift card to Bath and Body Works, Target, Sears, Macy's, whatever. Take those into account. Go through your wallets, go through wherever you keep those cards, and see how much money is on there. See what the value of it is, and you can ideally use those gift cards that somebody may have gifted to you, or something that you may have accrued over the course of the year, and use that to buy items for the people who you're giving gifts to. Also, it'll help you with shopping, so you can shop the sales and things of that nature. So you can say, hey, this is what I need to buy, a shirt or some shoes for so and so. This company, this store is having a sale, and I have a gift card for it. And that way you can maximize as much money as possible. So try to create a Christmas account. I know it's kind of late now in September, but something you definitely want to consider after this Christmas is over with, and take inventory of your gift cards, okay? All right, now tip number 8, our last and final tip, is to budget or account for miscellaneous expenses. So during Christmas time, there are all these little things that come up that you don't think about. Now, we might not do a whole lot of traveling this Christmas, just due to everything that's going on, but typically a lot of people do tend to travel around the holidays, and you yourself may still be traveling to see family around the holidays. Take into account how much is travel going to be, travel and lodging. Like, are you going to have to stay in a hotel, an Airbnb, that kind of stuff? Are you staying with friends and family? And if so, even though you don't have to pay a fee to stay with a friend or a family, you might have to buy groceries or buy stuff to eat, that kind of thing. So budget for those miscellaneous expenses. Also budget for extra gas Even if you're not traveling to see different people, or even if you are, we tend to spend more gas during Christmas time because one, we're going out and going shopping. Also, we might be going out to eat more just to hang out with those friends that we don't see on a regular basis, that kind of stuff. So take that into account. You might be spending more money on those kinds of things. Also, shipping or shipping gifts to people, mailing cards to people, that kind of stuff can add up. Even though some companies will offer free shipping for your products, if you're having to mail it out to your aunt, your uncle, your cousins, your nieces, nephews, take that into account that not only maybe you planned on spending $25 on their gift, but in order to get the gift to them, it's going to be another $10 to ship it. So you don't want those little miscellaneous expenses to sneak up on you and catch you by surprise. Also around this time, some other miscellaneous things that we tend to spend money on is like Christmas photos. So you might want to do a family photo because it's Christmas time, and maybe that's when your family takes their Christmas photos or their family photos. So take that into account because that's things that you didn't account for. Also during this time, we tend to give more in terms of donations or to charities. So we're just in a naturally giving spirit, and sometimes you don't want to give too much or give and be in trouble come January time. So take that into account. Also, last thing that I'm going to mention is we tend to splurge. So oftentimes we're shopping for other people, but we find a deal that is too good to be true, and it was made just for you. So you end up buying it for yourself, and you are supposed to be shopping for other people. So just go ahead and budget for it, taking into account that you might be spending some money on you for this Christmas, and that way things are not unexpected. All right, so just a real quick recap. The 8 tips to prevent you from overspending this Christmas is: tip number 1, don't feel obligated to buy people anything. Tip number 2, plan ahead. Tip number 3, set a Christmas gift budget. 4, remember to budget for Christmas decor. 5, set a holiday food budget. Tip number 6, try to shop for gifts as early as possible. Tip number 7, save money in a Christmas fund as early as possible, or create a Christmas fund. And lastly, tip number 8, budget or account for miscellaneous expenses this holiday season. All right, so those were your 8 tips this Christmas. So if you found this video to be helpful, please let me know. And also in the comment section, let me know, how are you budgeting or saving money or preventing yourself from overspending this Christmas? I would love to hear from you. And if anyone has any questions, also please put that in the comment section as well. All right, that's all I have for now. Take care until next time. Bye, guys.